just having to edge round the boy. We're in a bit of a very low giz mode today. Don't know what's happened. Something's really frightened him. He's been like quite meek all day and jumpy. So we're just taking a bit of care with him. But yeah, man, it's like, it continues. There's like some continuity to it, as long as I keep lowering my expectations. No, there is, man. It's like, I'm just sticking to all the things I've been saying. Just don't fucking rush. You can still do something every day and still have this kind of low output, but just be structured and finish things. And that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing, because I'm always just so fucking enthusiastic and hopeful. And like I've said, I've been at this fucking point so many times and made this realization so many times. But I think it's probably just sort of further along. Excuse me. Further along in the recovery, I start to just then push it that little bit more. Do you know what I mean? I think we sort of tend to take it easy for the first few days and go like that. And then after about 3 or 4 days, we go like, right, we should be there now. And then we should be there. And I don't know, man. I keep saying it, like, the more I just fucking accept that these things come along, I think I must have had about 7 or 8 last year. I must have done. Where it's literally 3 or 4 days, curtains drawn, sitting, nothing going on that I can just, well, I don't know, just all sorts of bullshit. And then each time when I popped my head back into the world, it was strange the last time I left it. And it's that first day at school feeling, yet again. And it feels like I haven't been here for years. It's like, whoa, it's like I was here last week. You were. But there's that bizarreness to go through, and it's like, I think those are the times I've been reaching out. Those are the times I've been trying different therapies on specific things. And it's like all the time it was just, you know, I was having the therapy, it wasn't having any effect on it. I was having, you know, a structured, focused course of it, and it just basically got abandoned. I think it was 8 weeks, something like that. But then it still got extended by 8 weeks. So like I keep saying, it's a really weird world to live in, where you just still keep getting told there's nothing wrong with you, when you know how good the mental health services are at spotting fake people, how reluctant they are to waste any time on anyone, how they discharge people who don't turn up, and they don't fuck about. They do not fuck about, because there's loads of people that need them. And so when you get that, you know, just by explaining what's going on and what's been happening and all of that sort of stuff, and then you get tested by, you know, the top people, and then there's nothing wrong with you. All you need to do is do. And it gets a bit like Groundhog Day. So, you know, a lot of the thinking behind doing these videos was getting people to see that it is actually an illness. You know, it's called personality disorder. Straight away, it just hints towards the kind of person I am. So just have a go at me and then I'll get better. Just like from my point of view. No, you've got that wrong. No, you shouldn't have said that. No, shut up. No, you're too loud. No, you're too talkative. You talk about the wrong things. You talk in depth too much. You talk this too. It's like, fucking hell. There are just many ways I have discovered of informing a human being that you would like them to shut the fuck up. It can be done so in elaborate fucking ways, written on pieces of paper with official meanings on them. But it basically means shut the fuck up. But yeah, man, where was I at? I was just quietly reflecting, wasn't I? Because it is like, I got my guitar. It hangs on the wall with no work at all. And it's my little one, and I had a little go on it, and my hand basically taught me the guitar. I think of a thing I want to do, and I try and learn the pattern sometimes. I still haven't learnt Sweet Child of Mine. It's one of those ridiculously simple ones, but there's like, there's a little alternation between them, and I just fuck it up. Because my hand wants to do it differently. So that's why I end up putting a different swing on songs, because my hand just goes, no. If I try and sing it, my hand changes the rhythm. So I end up, like, it's quite cool. I've done like jazz funk versions of Hallelujah and stuff. But again, it's like spending some time just being in the moment with the music and feeling myself learning something, feeling myself learn a little pattern. And that's what, once my hand feels familiar, then I can start to like, and I have to oomph my body with as my thumb goes. But I did one of those rhythms where you actually have almost two parts to it, and you can kind of pick the two out, and they've always blown my fucking mind. And I've reproduced by learning it with my hand, a fairly basic one, but I can keep it going. And again, it's that experience. I can feel my brain learning. That is a good thing. That's something returning. Accidental poetry there. But yeah, it's, be stop and thinklical about your little victories, I think is what I'm saying. There's been a lot of good stuff like happen over the last couple of days spiritually. I think that's what a lot of this has been. Is it's more the spirit has been broken, so the mind fucking dies with it. Because out and about today, I felt more, not confident, the word is confident, I suppose, but at ease being there. I don't feel like I'm not supposed to be there, and that's what I was feeling. Just a very vivid sense of, it's not, I think I'm not supposed to be here. It's just a weird feeling that there's just something that's not right about me being there. I can't describe it. You can only feel it when you feel it, and it's fucking horrible, and it's a lot more vivid and disturbing than it might sound. Which is why I'm here clapping my thighs and shit like that. That's why it's horrible. It's not all in my head. It's physical and it's scary. Oh, might get bitten. It was a bit grotty this morning, like really needy, and then you suddenly get the face. I love how cats do that. Suddenly I know, I go, fuck off. And then just come back up to you. I just fucking love that. They so fucking mean it when they hit you. Can you imagine a person acting like that? Oh my god. Yeah, they're awesome. He's awesome. No, he's just rolling over. He was just rolling. There we go. Right over on his belly. All right, dude. Although this also could lead to a bite. But yeah, man, it's like I'm working tomorrow. I can reconnect with my spirituality. I got my little amulet done, my Archangel Mackie. And look, when it hangs, it makes a really cool bindi on my skull, which makes me very fucking happy. I bet when that skull was printed on there and as it left the factory, it had no idea it was going to receive the highest honour of an Archangel Michael bindi. But it's fucking perfect. It's not quite the right length. They don't make a 28 in silver, or they take ages to order in. I was like, I want to wear it today. If anyone's got a 28-inch curb chain and wants to swap it for 30, boom, because then it will sit the right distance from the other two. It will sit where I want it to. Or I might just tie it out in this one or something. I don't know. But yeah, it was also a day, that was it, where I got all of my plans done in the time that I said I was going to do them. Which again might sound silly, I don't know, but for simple things, but it involved like a shopping trip. And then I bumped into some people and I chatted and I was okay about it and I was happy and I was bouncy and I was me. And I referred to myself as something like a wizard just before I left, and then the woman in the jeweller's shop actually came over and asked me if I was a wizard, which is one of the coolest questions I have ever been asked in my life. How often are you in a shop and a woman walks up to you and says, "Excuse me, I hope you don't mind me asking, but are you a wizard?" Whereupon I did reach into my pocket and pull out a magic wand. But no, I'm not a wizard. I wouldn't get into like what you might think, like it is the law of attraction, but it's also like do some fucking dark magic. Fuck that shit. No. Nope, not for me. It's just not my vibe. It's not my vibe. I float along with the happiness most of the time and acknowledge the dark, but yeah, nah, fuck that. I'm a sort of clowny, colourful, happy wizard. But yeah, man, it's like I say, I notice a difference in my sort of general disposition. I feel like I'm a little bit more glowy. Do you know what I mean? I feel like I'd be okay to sit next to. That's a lot of like what I call my disgusting, I think. You know, you get horrible vibes off people, don't you? Or I do. Sometimes there's certain people for reasons unknown can just make me go and need to be away from them. And so I often think like the way that I am when I'm low, when I'm like hugging my knees and shit, I just think I'd be giving off a disgusting vibe. Whereas now I could chat to someone and like this, and I could relax and talk to the ceiling and not give a fuck and just come out with funny shit and just not care. And just be me. Just splurting my mad shitnesses into the atmosphere. Like I do. But maybe that's just part of my schizotypicalness coping strategy. Who knows? It's I'm basically left with this. Now, pretty much, it's kind of the way it is, man. It can't change. It's everything's all got too real and unreal. What was the one I spoke to my favourite human earlier, and it was that voice was, "It's not really happening, Michael." But in actual fact, going to the psychiatrist and then getting referred and having all those tests done, what the actual sentence should be is, "No, it actually is happening, Michael. But they all think it isn't happening, Michael. But the problem is, Michael, the other evidence is you don't know what's real anymore. So it is real, but you don't even know if it could be or not. Have fun, Michael. Goodbye." It really is. It's like, what and what and what? But then it's all double what anyways. What the fuck do I know? What the fuck do I know is what I end up with. I really do. That's why probably maybe I have to be less friendly. Because I'm very open and friendly, and then that's how I get dragged into conversations, and they can be hard work. Because a lot of the time I'm thinking, don't ask this, don't ask that. So maybe that's why I keep it bubbly and jokey. So, let's just talk about how stupid I am and how colourful I am, instead of like asking me normal society type questions where I've got to actually sort of be a person. A person of orthodox questioning. No, not really, not particularly. But the fact is, man, it's like, again, when I looked at however long ago it was now, I can't remember the date again, but that Christmas week, today I was happy to shine whatever the shitting fuck I am out of my beautiful fucking arsehole with a big old smile on my face and go, woohoo, this is me world. And like, that's important to me to be able to do that, to actually feel like I am a thing that exists, like a credible entity. And it was like, basically I wasn't consciously, but I was pretty much ashamed of that. I just didn't want to show people that. Didn't want people to see that. Stuck in that thing of wanting company, but what would you fucking want to come and sit with? Do you know what I mean? So it's a vivid and clear, distinct difference. Which, again, it's like right now feels like it's just that reconnection with spirituality. And it's given me that side of me. But again, I need to remember I have been here so many times before and crashed so many times before. I'm learning that it is not actually those external circumstances that put me here. It is and it isn't. I get to a point and then just anything will set me off. And then rather than talking about what set me off, it's just think I have been set off. Let's objectify the situation. I'm not well again. What do I need to do? And I think that's the first step. That's kind of what I'm learning. It's just like, I've always tried to deal with the specifics of the situation that's all seems to have brought me down or whatever. Am I making sense? I hope so. But yeah, if it's an illness, it's an illness. And the more I learn, if having an objective head about that helps me get better quicker, If accepting that I just need to shut down for a bit helps me get better quicker, that's the beginnings of a coping strategy, which means I'm calmer for longer periods in between whenever I have an episode. So then that has a build-up effect on the goodness within.